has life changed since, coming back from that with another five medal haul?
Um, no, that's the simple answer. It hasn't. I came back from Worlds. College had started like a month ago, so it was a really big, shock back into reality. Got straight back into things. It didn't really take too much time off. I think just because I had been really happy with the season and I wanted to obviously take a little bit of time to rest and everything like that. But I was really excited and raring and ready to go again for this season. So I think that was off the back of being really happy with most of my performances at Worlds was just, being excited to get back into it and get another good year of work done.
Excellent stuff. And I suppose then, so there wasn't too much of a break. Was there much of a break over Christmas, or has it literally been just kind of trying to manage the load a little bit and go straight into this season?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We didn't really get a break over Christmas. I did my first bit of altitude training. We left the day after Christmas. For 3 weeks, we went over to America. We went to Flagstaff in Arizona. So that was my first go at altitude training. It was really, really good. I responded really, really well to it. It was really tough. Longest 3 weeks of my life, I think. But really good to get that in and to get that in the month of January as well. As always, I put in a good few months before Christmas for sure, but it's nice to kind of start off the new year, if you will, with a really, really good block of training in there.
Excellent, good stuff. So, are you feeling excited and looking forward to, what's to come in 2026?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a Europeans this year. That's our main focus point of this season. So that's what I'll be looking towards this September, I think it is. So it's I suppose because it's the middle year of a cycle, it's really a year for training, for building, the aerobic system, getting really, really good training in, and then come the end of the season, hopefully being able to put out some, good another fast performances out there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for this year. It's a big training year though.
Great stuff. Okay, we'll talk about the Europeans now in a second as well. But I suppose just as well, from getting to know you over the past few years as well, and it does kind of have the feeling now that you've been around forever. And we
Yes,
go
I've been
back,
asked this a lot.
but do you feel that in yourself, as in, do you feel like you're in a different part of your career now where maybe before you were looking up to people and kind of wondering, oh my God, I'm on the same stage with them. Now they're looking at you going, wow, I'm on the same stage as Róisín Ní Ríain. And you're helping to bring through maybe younger members of the swim team who are taking advice from you, whether it's when they're in the pool or how to deal with things outside of the pool.
Yeah, that is exactly that's exactly how I feel. I'm definitely not of the older age yet. I'm only just turned 21, but in saying that, I've still been on the team for 6 years. So
Mm.
I really do feel like I've gained that experience. As you said, I've been the person who's the newbie on the team, who's the young one, who's looking up to all these swimmers, and now I'm almost one of the oldest and most experienced on the team. So for me to be able to watch the younger swimmers that are coming through, we have some really, really great talent in para swimming in Ireland. So that's really, really exciting to see, the numbers that we'll hopefully have very soon. That's something that in my years anyways being involved I haven't seen before. So it's really exciting watching all those young people come up. And it's really enjoyable to go to competitions with bigger teams. We've done a couple of competitions now in the last year and a bit where we've had like much bigger numbers than we would have ever had before, and it's actually nice to be one of the older people on the team, and like that, just to be able to share anything I can or help them in any way I can as well, with little things. As you said, it's not necessarily stuff related to swimming, but it's more, some of the stuff that they just may not know, logistical stuff or what to
Yeah.
do, on training camps or on different, it's the questions that maybe you wouldn't necessarily ask the coach. You have someone there to that's older than you to guide you, I suppose.
Yeah, completely just bounce things off, I suppose, as well
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes. I suppose then let's look at the Europeans in Turkey.
In Turkey,
Um,
yeah.
I had to go back this morning to I think it was Madeira, wasn't it the last one? And trying to
Yes,
go
it was,
through
yeah.
all the tables. Am I right in thinking that was 5 medals as well?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2 gold, 2 silver, and a bronze.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that is, yeah, that is what it was, yeah.
that sounds about right. You've got so many now, you've lost track. Uh, what is the aim for that? Do you know what you're going to be doing? Have you to wait until I'm not sure if the timetable's out yet, but is that a key thing as well to look at how the events are placed over the week to see what you can physically enter, I suppose,
Yeah,
as well?
it is. No, you're absolutely right there. I don't think the schedule is out yet. I've heard potentially what it could be, but I suppose the big difference is it's a 6 day meet when we usually have, obviously the games are 10 days, but that's different. All of our majors would be 7 days, and it works out quite well because each classification, I think, maybe not all classifications, but my classification anyway has 7 events. So an event a day. Obviously, I don't usually do all seven. I don't think I've ever done all seven. Um, but it's obviously it being 6 days means we'll have a double in there. And so it's whether that's a double of an event that I do. I'm gonna have my main, is it 4 events that I will do? Again, if that double ends up being my main events, maybe I'll have to look at it. But realistically, even if it is, I'm probably gonna do it. I'm gonna do my main events for sure. And then I added back in the 400 freestyle in Worlds last year. I enjoyed swimming that. I swam it. I swam really well actually in it. That one shocked me a little bit, or surprised me more than shocked me. But so I'd like to keep that in, and then it's just about what I do with the sprint freestyle. I'm not a sprint freestyler, but it's been getting better. So it's whether I choose to want to race that and whether the schedule allows me to race that. I'm hoping I would like to race a lot of races. With it being Europeans, it would maybe give me the opportunity to be able to do that. So we'll see. The honest answer is I don't know. I haven't even looked at it with my coach yet because I don't actually think there is a schedule yet. But it is something that we'll have to just sit down and decide if we want to decide what we want to prioritize. If it's swimming a lot of events and doing well, or if it's swimming maybe 1 or 2 less and prioritizing really, I suppose, those events that little bit more, focusing on and making the podium or that kind of thing. So it's just about figuring out kind of what we want to achieve, what we want to get out of it.
Okay, here's a fun question for you. Would you prefer 2 gold medals on their own or a selection of medals from all the events? Like, does it, it's a really hard one to, but where does your mind
It
go? Because I'd love
is.
to, 5 at Worlds, 5 at Europeans. You like to
Yeah.
collect things.
I
So
don't know. Yeah, see, I've been asked the question of a world record or a world gold, and I know my answer to that, but I actually don't know my answer to this question. I see, I've only ever gotten one gold medal at a world stage. So with that said, I feel like I'd have to pick. If you're going to give me 2 golds, I'd probably pick that because that's
okay,
still more than one.
good stuff.
But yeah, it would be nice, to be on the top of the podium. I've been on the top of the podium at Europeans, to be fair, twice, but I've never been at the top. Or sorry, I've been at the top of the podium once at a world level. But it would be nice to, again, that won't be this year, obviously, but in the coming years, it would be nice to be able to do that, of course.
And when we mention world records, then, the altitude training and different things like this, and I'm sure you're getting times from your coach. Is there things you feel you've added to your arsenal, whether you're saying maybe you're getting a bit faster, as in, outright pace? What can we expect from, I suppose, the 2026 version of you?
Oh, I couldn't tell you yet. I think it's too early to say. I haven't raced too much yet this year, so the racing that I have done, I actually haven't done any aerobic racing in terms of, I haven't done any 200s or 400s yet this year, I think.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think back now. But my aerobic work has been really, really good in training. So I've good aerobic work in training. I haven't raced it yet, so I can't tell you. And then I have had good sprint work in racing. So I have a nice mix of both so far this year, which is nice. Usually I'm definitely not a freestyle sprinter and I'm definitely not a 50 sprinter. And I've done 1 or 2 good sprints. Even actually, we've done some good sessions where we've stood up and done some sprints like that, and I've been pretty good. So I think I have a nice mix of both yet this year. But in terms of, I'm sure I'll get back into, I'm sure next racing opportunity, I'll probably be racing my 2 a.m. and my 4 free to get those going again for the year. There's always a few nerves racing a longer event for the first time of the season, I always think.
Yeah, very much so. Okay,
It's
listen,
going to be hard.
I'm sure it won't be for you. A final
I don't know about that.
couple of questions to wrap up on. Firstly, I'm always wary of mentioning because we're a little bit out yet, but LA on the horizon. Is that the thing that keeps driving you? Like you've achieved so much, and it feels like you've hardly even started, even though you've been around. But is LA, the Para Games, are they the ones that stand out every time, you're getting up at 4 a.m. or whatever to get down to the pool? You look at a picture of Paris and go, yeah, that's what we're doing this for.
Yes and no. I think, of course, it's the big goal. It is the biggest goal, and it's always in the back of your mind. But I think a lot of athletes, well, certainly me, anyways, I don't like to think about that too much because it's so far away.
Mhm.
There's so many things on the way to that. So we would break it down into four, well, I would anyway, 4 1-year cycles. Because at the end of each year, you still have a major competition. So for me, this year, the goal is Europeans to get on the podium, to get on the top of the podium. And then next year, we have Worlds, and that's where you qualify for the games. So that's the goal of that year. And then with that, obviously, I'd like to be on the podium at Worlds and stuff like that too. And then it's LA, and then it becomes about planning for LA. While yes, we're always planning for LA, everything that we do is technically in preparation for LA, but there's so much to do in between now and then that it's always in the back of your mind. But again, I try not to fixate on it too much. I think what really helps me is breaking things down. So breaking things down into year-long seasons for sure, but I like to break things down into way, way smaller chunks than that. So like, if you're going through a really hard week of training, you're breaking things down day by day. If you're
Yeah.
going through, a month where, there's no racing or just a month of really, really hard training, then you break it down into just, let's get through the next couple of weeks. And then when it comes to racing, when it comes to in-season racing, that's your next priority. So everything's broken up into, it can be, depending on where you are in your season, days, weeks, months, and then you obviously break it up into a year, and then that's part of the 4-year major plan. But
Excellent.
what keeps me motivated, I suppose it's hard. If you only had in mind a 4-year goal, where are you finding the motivation for that every single day? It's the little things that keeps me motivated. So it's the little races that nobody would ever see in Limerick tomorrow. You know what I mean? In the pool that's like a 5-minute walk away from my house. They're the progress that you want to make. And I think for me anyways, that's definitely what keeps me motivated, is doing better, is wanting to do better and better on a daily basis rather than a 4-year basis, if that makes sense.
Excellent. Okay, final question. The big man, Daniel, is back. He's decided to move home to Ireland. Listen, I know obviously he'll be up in Dublin, I think mostly training, but is it great to have him back on the island, I suppose? I'm sure he might be up and down to Dublin every so often or intermixing with the teams. And overall, then between swimming and para swimming, it just seems like we're just producing swimmers every few months that we're getting to know new names of different people. Is it the strongest ever time to be an Irish swimmer?
Yeah, absolutely. You said it exactly right there. I was up in Dublin there 2 weeks ago. I think it was actually the day that like the first day he came back or something like that. So I obviously saw him up in Dublin. But you're absolutely right. Like, look at how many people made teams this summer. From an able-bodied point of view, and then as I was saying, we've so many good and talented para swimmers coming up. So it's such an exciting time for Irish swimming in general at the moment. And it's really, really great to be a part of it, and also to be able to watch it happen, to watch from the side. For me to be able to, I'm training down here in the National Centre in Limerick, and we have had so many people make teams this summer. I'm presuming it's our best ever turnout of major international teams yet. You know, we've had so many people make teams for their first time. So that's really nice to be able to watch and to be a part of. I know my competitions are obviously at a slightly later point of the season to the rest of my teammates here in UL, but you know, to be able to see, you know, the progress that everybody's making and where Irish swimming is going, it's heading in a really, really good place.
Yeah, we're all really excited for it. Roisin, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We will be watching all throughout the summer and keeping an eye on progress, and we wish you all the best in the
Thank you very much.
Europeans.